Justin Hodges, the great Justin Hodges. Give him a cheer tonight as he makes his 24th and final appearance for his beloved Queensland. His teammates will tell you, and they'll tell you straight, there's nothing Justin Hodges wouldn't do for the Maroons. Nothing. And history sings the same song.
Hodges is over. Hodges scores.
Oh, turn it up.
How he's mentioned in the same breath and reverence as the great Queensland centre three-quarters. This production line of perfection, from Meninga and Miles to the sweet-stepping Steve Renault, and now Justin's best mate, G.I., the one and only Greg Inglis.
Greg Inglis becomes a leading try scorer.
This is the closest Queensland comes to royalty, rugby league royalty. And not everyone knew of the closeness of Justin's relationship with the spiritual leader of State of Origin, the late Arthur Beetson. Big Artie discovered him in Cairns, and they later lived together in Sydney, like father and son. Tonight, Justin Hodges is Queensland's elder statesman, running onto Suncorp for yet another decider, his last in the maroon jumper.
Tremendous run by Hodges.
Tonight, we can shoot for the stars and make it one to remember forever.
Great pride. Hello, welcome to Turn It Up. The great Justin Hodges. We're talking about that drop ball. Surely they didn't give you that drop ball.
It's a drop ball. Just I almost knocked myself out as well, so I was lucky.
Wish you did.
Mate, you were that.
Hey,
try
they
where
got
you
us 8 years in a row. Surely I can get us.
Remember when you come across the field and the shepherd you did? Remember someone come in and took Todd Carney and you just ran behind them.
Oh, there was an outrage.
You got a good memory.
Mate, I remember sitting on that. I remember the Queenslanders defending us, saying, "Oh no, that's fine."
Yeah.
2015, mate. Let it go.
Was that
He
it?
brought it up. Al brought it up and me and Al fought. He's still like a bad
Yeah,
memory
still
of it.
bitter and twisted. Cairns boy, how'd you get to the Broncos?
Oh, look, I got signed with the Crushers first when I was about 12, and then Paul Bunn took me across to the Broncos when they folded, and went to the Broncos when I was about 14.
So when you say you signed with it, were you coming down for training with the Crushers at that age?
I came down once or twice and did a bit of training with them. I think JT was there as well. So, look, I came as a 14-year-old kid, just sort of got to hang out with the boys. I didn't train, obviously, but just to experience what Brisbane was like, and it was awesome.
Now, at 19, you signed with the Roosters. Firstly, Wayne Bennett was coach of the Broncos and he flicked you off to reserve grade. Tell us what that was like, and then tell us about your experience down in Sydney.
Oh, look, it was quite scary at first. When I signed with the Roosters, I sort of made the decision to go there because I was a fullback. Obviously, Lockie was fullback here, and I was never going to get the opportunity to go there. So I signed with the Roosters, and Wayne sort of told everyone it was time for me to step down and go and play Queensland Cup. So I was quite annoyed, but quite scared as well. I didn't want to confront him or nothing. But it was quite sad because all I wanted to do was play rugby league, and I got the opportunity to go and play at the Roosters and got to play with players like yourself. So I could never wish anything from that. I think it was one of the great experiences of my life going down there for 3 years, and
Bravo!
Claim 3 million free coins.
Everyone's in on the action this racing season. Cam's on a track walk.
Get off.
Security! Harry's on hay fever tabs.
Living in the eastern suburbs.
In the eastern suburbs.
Three grand finals.
Learning some good habits of a couple of other boys.
Freddie.
You say you wanted to be a fullback, Hodge. You actually went back to the Broncos, and in 2006, you won the premiership. You actually played fullback that day against Cam and I.
Yep.
You just had the reunion on Friday.
Yes.
That must have been an experience. The reunion of that.
The reunion, yes, we're still coming down from it. Look, that's fullback for me is somewhere I always wanted to play, but I played my whole career there, obviously coming through the ranks, but coming down to Brisbane, obviously with Lockie there, went to the Roosters to go and play fullback. Graham Murray was the coach when I first signed, and he got sacked, and then Ricky Stewart came on board, and that's when I started playing the centre. So, look, to play fullback for me was something special because I could pop up on both sides and not sort of limited to one side there. So, look, I would have loved to play more games there, but it just didn't happen.
Hodjo, you got to play a lot of games in that Mighty Maroons jersey, and you played exceptionally well. I think, as a teammate, you're one of the more inspirational players that I've played with. And can you just tell us about your time? Like, you got an opportunity really early.
Yep.
What changed through that period from first game to last? Did it mean something different to you, the jersey?
Oh, look, it did. I think the first game I sort of went into camp, hung around the boys, and obviously had probably too much drinks the night before, and probably didn't appreciate the jersey for what it was. My first game, as you know, for Queens, I think you scored off one of my passes as well, so looked after Freddie. But I think over the years, here it is here, I just sort of realised what Queensland meant to me, having guys like Mel Meninga being the head coach when he came in that year and changed the whole dynamics of the Origin arena, and I just didn't want to let Queensland down no more. That jersey meant more to me than anything.
It was a tough debut. How did you bounce back from that?
Oh, look, it was a tough one. I tell kids every day I work in schools that I came this close to quitting the game after that game.
Really?
I was this close. Yeah, I ended up staying at Mum and Dad's house for about a week or two. I didn't go home. The Roosters was ringing up, seeing where I was. Because I just thought I'd just let the whole state down. I was devastated, and something I never wanted to do as a Queenslander.
How'd you come out of that?
Oh, look, I was lucky enough to have a strong mum, and obviously dad as well, but mum battled like a serious illness and cancer, so she sort of said, look, if I can get through something like that, surely you can get through something like this and keep going your career, and that meant the world to me, to have someone who was so strong and powerful to give me that.
Did you boys know that? Did you boys know he went through that?
No, that was before
we started.
Just before them.
What year was that? 2001?
2002.
2002. Well, I get text messages from you like through the Origin period now. I see how passionate you are about Origin. I played alongside you. What was your mentality when you were at the top of your game? What was your mentality in Origin? Origin's around the corner. We pick the team tomorrow.
Yep.
How did you think about the game, and what was your mentality when you went into a battle?
Oh, look, having a great mate on the opposite side, Greg Inglis, I think our mentality was just to hurt New South Wales as much as possible. I think, obviously, coming down on the kick chase, we wanted to really stamp our authority on the back three of them and make sure we can take them out of the game. If we did that, it allowed our middles to come through and sort of have a little bit more easier time. So, look, no offence to these two boys, but you know how much I hated New South Wales, and I just wanted to hurt them. And that was my mentality every time I went out there.
What about that team? We're looking at the players. We go well, and then next thing you go, Hodges, Inglis. Oh, there's Lockyer. Oh, there's Smith. There's Slater.
Look, it was a great time. We had over 10 years together, and we built a lot of trust, a lot of love in that group. And every time we came into camp, it was never about where the club levels were or how much money you're making. It's about we had a job to do for Queensland, and that's all that mattered every single year.
What about the agitating, the sledging? You're one of the greats there.
That was easy.
That was easy.
Naturally. That's a premeditated. Would you go and say, I'm going to hammer this?
Oh, look, it's always the opposite centre. So if I marked Coops for a long time, obviously got Paul Betty on this one here.
You can't do it, Danny Medeiros. He's the world's nicest bloke.
I know, but look, he wouldn't give me the ball. Then he'd give me that. Look, obviously Smithy was coming through, and he was the number one guy. He was the number two. And I knew Bezzy wasn't a very big sledger, but I just had to throw it up there because obviously Smithy was in my view.
Poor old Mitchell.
Oh, look, he was, he copped a bit of a bath a few times, old Mitch. He was a fantastic player. He used to give it as good as he got to. He used to give it to JT a fair bit, and a lot of us, so you know what it's like. He's all been out there. It's all a bit of fun, and you had to try and put the opposition off somehow.
Hodjo, can you tell us about the impact Mal had on you as an individual?
Yep.
He had an impact on all of us when he came in and started coaching the Queensland side in 06, but as a guy that played in your position in the centres, you would have looked up to him as a young fella? Yeah, look, most definitely. I still remember the first time we went into camp, and he sort of sat us all down and said, look, this guy since a young kid, and he was always he's been out and done it. He's been an inspiration for Queensland people for a long time. When he said it was a bit of fun, something to do. But look, I work in schools every day now, mate, helping young kids. I was sort of fortunate enough to have a really good career in rugby league, but I wasn't probably the most talented kid in the classroom. A bit of fun, something to do. But look, I work in schools every day now, mate, helping young kids. I was sort of fortunate enough to have a really good career in rugby league, but I wasn't probably the most talented kid in the classroom, outside, we all were. We all gifted. When we're outside on the sporting field, but in the classroom I sort of went into my shell a little bit. Obviously wasn't the brightest kid in class, but look, for me it's about giving back and helping these young kids now. There's so many young kids out there that are going through some tough times, and we go through leadership programs, create all programs for a different school, built with the leaders of the school, and it's about giving back and trying to educate these young people to give them a bright future.
You got kids in junior sport, mate? I've seen you around at a couple of different carnivals.
Yeah, my little boy plays. He's under 12, under 13s at the moment. My little girl plays as well. She's under 9 at Aspley's as well. So, look, hopefully he can go all the way. He's a bit of a halfback at the moment, so he hasn't grown yet. So hopefully he can get some.
Has he got your cheek?
He's got your cheek.
It's hereditary.
It's genetic.
Yeah, well, at the moment, I'm running the water for him, so sometimes I'm going to tell him that. I'll keep on the side going, oh, Joe, what are you doing? You used to do that all the time. I said, well, this under 13s, like, shh, bring it down.
What about when you sign with the Chooks, dealing with Nick Politis? Like, he's given so much to rugby league and the Roosters.
Yep.
Yeah.
Roosters like a second family. Dealing with Nick, how was that?
Oh, look, it was difficult. I remember I first signed, he was someone who was very, very intimidating.
Because Arthur would have been there as well. wouldn't he?
Arthur was there, yeah. I lived with
And you
Arthur.
lived with Arthur,
Yeah, I lived with him for about just almost a year, and that was probably one of the scariest times of my life. Me and Joey Williams came home late one night and had to jump the fence because we couldn't get into the house. The next morning, go on the breakfast table, just seeing the big fella just sitting there like that. This guys just gave it to us, and then we never did that again. But look, Nick Politis, I think the most scariest part, he didn't talk to me for about 5 years when I re-signed with the
That's
Roosters.
a long time.
Yeah, and I re-signed with the Roosters, and I thought, no, I want to come back home to Brisbane. And having that conversation with him wasn't great, so he sort of brushed me for a while, and ran into him again after our 20-year reunion we had a couple of years ago, and started talking to him.
Now, you're coming to Sydney on Monday. We've got the great
Yes.
debate, which is going to be shown on 100% Footy Monday night.
What's the topic? Is
New
there a
South
topic?
Wales don't get it. I found out last night this is the debate.
Don't get Origin.
I don't get Origin. So it's
you
yourself,
though?
Sammy.
Do you?
Oh, mate, please. 12 games up here. 12 games up here. 10 wins, 1 loss and a draw.
Can you promise
Please,
me?
Record.
Can you promise me this year we're not going to see this though?
Oh, you'll still see it. Hopefully you won't see it, but you'll see it Monday night. Me and Jimmy Maloney are up against this bloke and Semi Thaiday talking about, do New South Wales get Origin? So, get ready, mate, you did that boxing. Wait till me and Jimmy get in there with the gloves.
Oh, I've got Sammy.
Terrifying.
He's the best third man in, fourth man in. So
Third man in, Sammy.
I got my brother with me. We're good.
Oh, beautiful. Thanks for coming on, mate. I look forward to the
Thanks, boys.
debate.
Appreciate it.